At a charity event, Barron Trump was on hand with his family for a classic fundraiser. But that day was far from an ordinary event for young Barron. During the event, the organizers had invited children from an orphanage. At one of the tables, Barron came across a boy excitedly showing his own drawings. There were drawings of spaceships and planets, made with colored pencils on a small notebook. The boy's name was Ethan. He was 10 years old, and he had a lifelong dream: to be an astronaut. The brightness in Ethan's eyes caught Barron's attention. The boy said, "I want to see a real rocket one day so badly, but that's just a dream for someone like me." And something inside Barron stirred. In that moment, he felt how meaningful it could be to help dreams come true. As he listened to Ethan's story, he realized that this little boy had passionately pursued his dream despite limited means. Barron thought it might be possible to not just show him a rocket, but to do something much bigger. Barron was so moved by Ethan's dream that he pulled out his phone during the event and sent a few texts. This seemingly mundane act was the first step in a grand plan. What Ethan didn't realize was that Barron could communicate directly with one of the most influential people in the world. Barron had only one thought in mind: take Ethan to SpaceX and introduce him to Elon Musk. But that wasn't enough. He wanted to give Ethan an unforgettable experience on his way to becoming a real astronaut. This story, which began on a rainy afternoon, was the first step on the road to Ethan's dreams. But what exactly were Barron's plans? How would Ethan's journey take shape? All this was about to turn into an extraordinary story, thanks to Barron's determination and Ethan's dreams. When Barron Trump returned from the event, he had nothing but Ethan on his mind. He immediately took action. He spoke to his father, Donald Trump, and asked for help in reaching SpaceX founder Elon Musk. Seeing how eager Barron was, his father was happy to make the necessary connection. Shortly after, a positive response came from Elon Musk's office. Barron couldn't hide his excitement as he shared details about the surprise he had organized for Ethan. A week later, Barron went to the orphanage and told Ethan the big news. "Ethan, I have a surprise for you," Barron said with a smile. "What kind of surprise?" Ethan asked curiously. Barron got down on his knees and looked Ethan in the eyes. "Have you heard of SpaceX, the company that builds spaceships?" Ethan nodded excitedly. "Of course, Elon Musk. I want to be like him." Barron continued, "I've arranged for you to meet Elon Musk, and you'll participate in a real simulation at SpaceX. You'll train like an astronaut, Ethan." Ethan's face showed incredible surprise and happiness. "Really? You're not kidding, are you?" Barron laughed and said, "No joke. I'm taking you to SpaceX in a week. Get ready." At that moment, Ethan's eyes welled up with tears. For the first time in his life, he felt so close to his dreams. A week later, Barron and Ethan boarded a private plane to SpaceX's headquarters. Ethan was shaking with excitement as he looked out the window, thanking Barron over and over. When they arrived at SpaceX, Elon Musk himself was there to greet them. "Ethan, it's a pleasure to meet you. Barron, you've done a tremendous job making a young man's dreams come true," Elon Musk said, tapping Barron on the shoulder. Ethan timidly extended his hand to Elon Musk. "It was a dream to see you. I'm really meeting you." Elon Musk laughed and said, "This is just the beginning, Ethan. Today you will learn how to work like an astronaut." Ethan was taken into a virtual reality simulation where astronauts train. He tried everything from tests simulating heavy gravity conditions to virtual mission simulations that let him experience moving through space. As Barron watched Ethan from a distance, he felt a deep sense of happiness. When the simulation was over, Elon Musk presented Ethan with a space engineering book. "Start working with this. If you want to realize your dream, this is the first step." "I promise, one day I will be an astronaut," Ethan said, holding the book tightly. "And when that day comes, we will celebrate together," Barron added, turning to Ethan. That day, Ethan not only took the first step toward becoming an astronaut, but he also realized that there were people who believed in him. But Barron's support for Ethan wouldn't end there. The really fascinating part of this story had yet to begin. Ethan said goodbye to Barron, holding the book tightly in his hands. Soon he returned to the orphanage. That day was the most important day of his life. The book was like a roadmap that he read every night, inspiring him to follow his dreams. Each page aroused more curiosity and prepared Ethan for his future. At first it was all a dream, but over time it became a reality. With each passing year, he was studying harder and gaining deeper knowledge about space. The book taught him many things he didn't know, and he gained more faith every day. 5 years later, when Ethan was 15, Barron called him one day. "Ethan, I've accepted you into an advanced training program. My goal is to actually send you into space. Now you should be ready to become an astronaut," Barron said. Ethan held the phone in his hand, stunned. "Really? How is that possible?" he asked, his voice a little shaky. Barron smiled. "You deserve it, Ethan. You've worked tirelessly, you've always looked ahead, and we will support you." 5 years ago, as a lonely boy in an orphanage, Ethan was stepping into a world he could never have imagined. He was now a young man selected to attend SpaceX and NASA's most prestigious training programs. Everyone was confident that Ethan would become a leading figure in space exploration in the future. By the age of 15, he had offers from the world's top universities and space agencies to further his education. He was no longer just a boy growing up in an orphanage, but a young leader on his way to becoming an astronaut who would change the world. His dream was not just to see the stars, but to reach them. Inspired by Barron and Elon, Ethan was accelerating his steps into space. His future was bright, and he believed that one day he would reach those stars and accomplish great things for humanity. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you like the story.